Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to Tyto Ecology. This is the first time that we're loading our rainforest biome since the game's big 1.9 update, and it's actually the first time that we're loading any of our biomes under the new time settings. And things aren't looking so good, guys. Things are really not looking so good. Our detritus levels are up to 3, and it seems like all of our animals may have actually died. So I did return to this biome to change the time that passes 6 months, just like our grasslands biome, and now I'm a little bit worried about that one too, because apparently this place was not suited to take care of itself for 6 whole months. So I am not sure, guys. I'm not sure what happened. It seems like most likely all of our decomposers got eaten away, maybe? I'm not sure. It seems like all of them are gone at the moment. It looks like, is this a group of maybe... This might be earthworms or, oh no, this is detritus, okay. I've never seen that before. I thought it was just carcasses and things like that you would be seeing. It looks like all of our plants are still alive, but it was probably the detritus that eventually killed everything off. So that's very interesting. I guess we're just going to have to add in a ton more mushrooms and earthworms and millipedes, I believe. We have access to millipedes in this biome. So I guess that's the first thing I'm going to do. We certainly don't need to place down any more trees or ferns because those are doing just fine. And it looks like all of our insects were also eaten away. I wonder if that has anything to do with it too. Okay, there we go. Already our detritus levels are going down just by placing this one little group of earthworms in the area, so that's kind of cute. Actually, we should probably take a look at all this. It looks like the notifications are still a little bit messed up, but we can kind of get a glimpse at what happened here. Even our ocelots died, which is so sad. It makes sense though, because if all of their prey died off, then that would certainly happen. It looks like the marsh deer also didn't survive. Oh gosh, the poor ocelots 22 weeks ago, guys. I was actually more concerned with the fact that the marsh deer might reproduce and eat everything in the time that we were gone. I didn't think that all of these creatures would just completely get wiped out. So we definitely have some work to do, especially if we're going to continue passing 6 months every time that we're gone. The game has definitely gotten a little bit harder since it was before. So let's see if we can kind of bring this place back to what it was before. We'll add a ton of earthworms all around here, and then we'll move on to our mushrooms too. It seems like the earthworms in particular really helped the place. Both zones are now at detritus level 2 now, or all 3 zones rather, because we actually have 3 zones unlocked. So we have quite a few of these to place. I should probably speed up the time just a little bit as well so we can place these down faster because we have a ton of work on our hands. It looks so sad here though, with no animals running around at all, just all of these trees. Everything looks so dark and gloomy. I think we're going to have to add in some more little Agoutis pretty soon. I have a feeling they would appreciate all of the mushrooms that we're about to place down as well. Okay guys, there we go. Detritus level 1 in what zone was that, I wonder? Let's see if we can find it again. Oh no. Yeah, the notifications are still a little bit messed up at the moment, so we're going to have to scroll around until we happen to bump into that. Okay, all of our zones are at detritus level 1 now, so that's good. It looks like all of these mushrooms and earthworms really helped clean up the place very, very quickly, so we can go back into our consumers tab and try to place down some more animals now. Of course, all of the herbivores are going to have a ton of food to eat here because it seems like things continue to spread even after the animals were gone, so we don't have to worry about them not being able to eat as soon as we place them in, except for our insectivores. I'm not going to place the armadillos in just yet because that would not be a good idea. We need to get some ants in here before we do that. But first, let's place some Agoutis around here. Let's place them all around Ocelot Island just like they were before. Oh, what's wrong with you? What is wrong with you, little guy? That's very strange. Sometimes I think they drop in really, really hungry, and then they have to dart off and try to find some food for themselves before they starve. So we'll add a whole bunch of Agoutis in here. I think the main concern, again, is just going to be making sure that there's enough decomposers in the area, because other than that, I'm not sure what could have happened to this place. It seemed like the detritus just took over and made it hard for our animals to stay in this area. They probably all got sick with all of the trash around and all of those detritus piles. You never know, though. We'll place some more Agoutis over here. I don't believe I placed any on this side of the biome before, actually. I think this was strictly an area for marsh deer, if I remember correctly, because they all like to come over here and munch on my strangler figs. So we'll have to place them back in here, too. But one thing that I really want to make sure of this time is that we place a predator in for them, because the marsh deer are actually too big for the ocelots to take down. So I was really worried that I was going to come back and find that the marsh deer had completely taken over the entire biome. Since 6 months passing is kind of a lot more than what we had previously. We only had, I believe, 1 month passing on normal mode before, so this is like 6 times the speed that we're used to. So it's actually no surprise that we're running into a bit of trouble. We'll place some millipedes around here too, because I don't think we placed any yet, so some lovely little millipedes would be a nice thing to spruce up the place. We have quite a few of the decomposers in Zone 3, I believe, but we might need a little bit more. I feel like I always place down a lot of decomposers, so I'm not sure exactly how many we're going to need this time. It seems like we need a lot. A lot of little mushrooms, which actually isn't too bad for the rainforest, because it will certainly give it a little bit more life. I'm sure rainforests are just chock full of mushrooms in real life as well. We'll put one right on top of this hill. There we go. A nice little hill full of beautiful tiny little mushrooms and one fern here too. I think we were going to put some sort of animal on top of this hill to kind of overlook the rest of the rainforest, but we didn't get that far yet, and unfortunately now we need to rebuild this entire thing. The rainforest has actually been pretty easy for us until now. We were able to basically keep everything alive every time that we came back to this biome, so I'm a little bit surprised at how quickly everything died off now. Hopefully that's not going to be a reoccurring theme for us. Hopefully we'll be able to figure out how to balance all of our biomes properly again, because I have a feeling that all of them are going to take a little bit of tweaking to make sure that they can survive properly here. Now let's see, should we place our ocelots down right here on Ocelot Island yet again? If I can place them down here, there we go. There's a little spot where I can place them, it looks like, right there, so they can enjoy their little island again. Yep, those mushrooms already have low population. I have a feeling that I may have placed too many Agoutis here. I wasn't really paying attention to that. So I might need to place some more mushrooms in the area. I might need to flood this entire biome with mushrooms just to make sure that they don't munch away at all of them again. And I think they're basically the only animal that we have at the moment that we need to worry about eating our mushrooms. Of course, the armadillos may have been a problem because they may have come over to our earthworms and decided to munch on those. They are insectivores, so that's probably what happened. We had 2 very hungry groups of creatures who were looking to eat up all of our decomposers, which is kind of funny. Kind of sad too, because of course everything is so bare now, but it's starting to lighten up here. Things are getting much livelier as we add in some blue morpho butterflies. We'll add them all over the place, and oh my goodness, tiny little flame trees, guys. Look at all of these tiny, tiny little flame trees. So this guy definitely spread around. He spread very far, in fact. We have tons of them over here. Oh my goodness. If we add our marsh deer back to the area, I have a feeling they're going to be very, very happy, because there is so much for them to eat now. So many different leaves and plants, all of these ferns from our Agouti as well, because not only do they eat these mushrooms, they tend to cluster around the mushrooms and munch away at those as soon as they wake up, but sometimes they go over to the ferns and they eat those. They like to hide under the ferns too from those ocelots, and I believe they also enjoyed the orchids every now and then. The marsh deer may have as well. I can't remember if the marsh deer also enjoyed the mushrooms or not, but let's place a couple more of these butterflies down here, and then I think we'll place some moths around too, because we don't want to forget about our lovely little moths. They're not quite as colorful as the blue morpho butterflies, but they are still quite nice to have in the biome. So we'll add a whole bunch of these in the trees and in the ferns, and I have a feeling that they will help us very much over the next 6 months that are going to pass. I do want to go ahead and add a couple more mushrooms in here to kind of stave off our very hungry agouti. I placed a lot of them in here, guys. Oh my goodness. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and is there one over here too? I think there is 6. Okay, 6 groups of agouti, and they're already eating up all of these little mushrooms over here. So let's give this group in particular some more mushrooms to eat. For some reason, they seem a little bit hungrier than most of our agoutis are. Maybe it's because there's not as many plants for them to eat. I wonder. Their entire territory kind of stays in this area. I was worried maybe it was branching off to the different zone, but it doesn't seem like it. So they just have this little area of food to work with, and I guess it's making them hungry. They seem to need more. This guy's sleeping right under the tree, though. Oh my gosh. How cute is that? They actually reproduce in 19 weeks as well. Oh my gosh, guys, I wonder if that was part of the problem. If all of these animals reproduced at the same time, then that would certainly raise the detritus levels too. And if it was already struggling because of our little agoutis eating all of our mushrooms and the armadillos eating all of our insects, then that may be the cause of this. That may be what happened while we were gone. Oh my gosh, it's crazy though how fast these mushrooms go. Oh my goodness, I hope we're going to be able to keep up with these. I know the mushrooms reproduce or at least spread a little bit faster than most of the other items in this game, but I'm starting to worry. It seems like the agoutis need to eat a lot of these, so we're just going to add more mushrooms wherever we see these little caution signs over the heads of our mushrooms. We're going to add a couple more in because that's probably where we need to focus at the moment. So let's see, are there any more? We have this one over here. We have this one over here right next to our agoutis yet again. Right next to our agoutis. So I have a feeling that is exactly what happened here. Oh my gosh, guys. Mushrooms. Mushrooms galore here. Okay, if this does not keep our biome happy and healthy, then I'm honestly not sure what is going to, because there are so many mushrooms here. Oh my goodness, and these guys are just sleeping in them yet again, curled up underneath this giant cluster of mushrooms. So he is going to be very, very happy when he wakes up in the morning and he goes to eat some breakfast. I have a feeling he is going to enjoy that. This guy too, they kind of like to sleep next to their food, which is probably a good way to do it because then you don't really have to move very far when you get up in the morning. So I think they're going to be just fine. Oh my gosh, guys, look at all of these. Look at all of these mushrooms. That is crazy. There's 40 of them in one group. And I think they're all like seriously right here. And another group has low population. Oh my goodness. A little mushroom in the water too. What are you doing there? That is not a good spot for you. There's a couple of them actually. Oh my goodness. That's kind of adorable. These tiny little dots of mushrooms. Oh, and our fish too. Okay, we'll replenish our fish too because that would probably be a good idea. And then we'll go try to find the mushrooms that are still having issues. And I think it's these. Okay, you know why? It's between two groups of agouti. I did not notice that. So both of these agoutis are actually eating this one group of mushrooms. Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh my goodness, and we came here just in time to save them. Let's place another group right there because now they have to share, unfortunately. These two agoutis are going to have to share all of these mushrooms, so we might as well give them a giant feast so that they'll all have enough. I hope this is going to be enough to make sure that everyone survives over the next month. I really hope so, though I'm starting to wonder if maybe I should place like another group of ocelots in or something. I did want to place a big cat in here this episode, but I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure if we're properly balanced enough to yet to introduce a big cat because so far we've had a lot of trouble with those big cats. Thankfully, the tiny little ocelots haven't been too much trouble for us. But the cougars have been okay in the grasslands just because we have so many mice for them to eat. I'm not sure if the agoutis are really going to be the same at the moment because it's not like they're really going out of control, though they are all going to reproduce in about 15 weeks. So that's going to be interesting to say the least. I believe that would be probably about maybe 4 months from now, so it would happen while we're gone, which again is a little bit worrying. But the other big cat in here is the jaguar, and this is all the way at the end of our consumers tab, so I have a feeling that we're going to need quite a few of these animals before we think about adding them in anytime soon. Of course, I want to build my marsh deer up again so that they have some nice big deer to take down when they're particularly hungry, and I just don't think that agoutis are going to be enough to stave them off, so we're going to wait on the jaguars. And we should probably go in here and place down our ants too. I almost forgot about these little guys. They are very, very important to any biome because they're going to help us clean up as well. They're scavengers. So if any of our animals happen to die, probably to the hands of our ocelots actually, the little claws of our tiny little ocelots, then they would be able to come over and pick up the carcasses and the bones that they leave behind because that's what they eat. So we'll place a whole bunch of these ant colonies around too. Oh my gosh, all of the mushrooms, guys. It reminds me of the deer mice because there's so many mushrooms here. I'm so glad that mushrooms can't like completely destroy your biome. At least, as far as I know, they can't destroy your biome, right? They're just going to make these little agoutis very, very happy. I don't really want to go too crazy with all of the different types of animals until we know that this is enough for our current animals. So let's add just a couple more of these ants in, and then I think we'll be good on those. I think they're basically covering this entire biome at this point, and oh my goodness, our mushrooms yet again are dealing with low population issues. It's probably this one, right? Yeah, it's probably that one because of course we have two groups of agoutis sharing them at the moment. And oh my goodness, this guy's all curled up right next to these tiny little plants. Are these actually baby plants? No, they're pineapples. Okay. I thought they were little tiny ferns for a moment, but they're actually pineapples in the ground. I almost forgot that we placed those before. Oh my goodness. We still need to find an animal that likes to eat fruit because there's actually a lot of fruit on all of these plants and trees. I believe the strangler fig has some little fig fruits, I guess you would call them, hanging on it, and it's actually going to need, oh, okay, pollination in 1 week, but it's already been pollinated because 1 week has passed, so that's good. This one should be producing fruit very soon then, and I believe we have papayas way out here. These are papaya trees, so in 4 weeks they will become pollinated, and then hopefully they will have some lovely fruit on them as well, and hopefully we'll have an animal to eat the fruit by that time. Oh my goodness, guys, if it doesn't work out this time, if we come back and find that everything has died off yet again, then I may consider bumping the time that passes down to 3 months until we can get this under control, because it's going to be very hard to keep rebuilding and rebuilding and rebuilding every single time we come back. I hope you guys are having a better time with this than I am, though. I hope you guys have figured out how to properly balance all of your biomes with the new update, because it definitely takes a little bit of tweaking. And okay, this one is having a little bit of trouble. Again, this group of agoutis seem really, really interested in these mushrooms, so I'm wondering if they just don't have anything else to hold them over. Maybe, because we have quite a few mushrooms in here, but they're just eating them down to the bare minimum. So I think what we're going to do, the last thing we're probably going to do, is add in just a couple more plants to tie them over. We know they like the orchids, so let's add a couple of those in. Oh my goodness, Mr. Ocelot, is that you? How did you get all the way over here? Your territory does not reach this far, sir. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. Well, okay, I guess that agoutis done. Yeah, maybe he chased them all the way over here. I'm not sure. That was very, very strange, though. Okay, I'm pretty sure that the ocelot can't make it over here, can he? That is really strange. I mean, obviously he can if he is here, but he can go all the way over to the side. Yeah, he has definitely outstepped his territory just a little bit. Outstepped his boundaries, guys. Going after these little agoutis. So that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. It's something that we're going to have to keep in mind if these predators can actually move out of the places that they're meant to be. So, oh boy, yet another element to consider as we rebuild the rainforest biome. But let's add a couple of these papayas on this hill here. Little tilted papayas, apparently. There we go. They stood up nice and straight. I had a feeling that would be a little bit awkward if the papaya was growing sideways like this. I'm not sure how that would work. So that's good. And we'll place a nice palm tree up here for some lovely shade for all of these animals. Just like all of these ferns too that they like to hide underneath. We should probably place a couple more of these around the area. Maybe this is what they like to eat in the other the other zones too. Place just a couple of those down. And hopefully that will be enough to hold off these agoutis for 6 months, guys. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how this is going to go. This is a little bit worrying. Maybe the zebra plants? I'm not sure if they like to eat the zebra plants instead. And let's see, what else do we have on the other side of the biome that these guys may like to eat? I'm assuming not the pineapples because they don't seem very interested in fruit. But maybe let's unlock the heliconia and see if they enjoy that. We'll place this right down here next to these very hungry agoutis. Look at these though. This looks like something you would definitely find in a rainforest. Those colorful little blossoms on them. Look at that. That is really cool. Actually, I am going to want to spread this around a little bit more. We'll place them on this side of the bank if we can. Okay, I don't think we can place that group over there, so we'll place it on this side instead. Maybe this one will be better. Okay, there we go. There we go. We managed to place a couple of them on that side of the river instead. And we'll place them over here. And then bring them down to zones 2 and 1 as well. And hopefully some of these animals will appreciate that. They are really gorgeous, so hopefully they'll like to munch on those as well. And it looks like our ocelot is on the move once again. This one's actually in its territory though, so I'm happy to see that. And oh dear, was this our agouti that was actually sitting by these little pineapples? And look at that. Look at that, the agouti actually does like to eat the pineapples. I did not know that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so maybe we do need to add a couple more pineapples over there. I'm glad I saw that. I'm glad I saw that little agouti munching away at them because that would be nice to have over here. We'll place a couple of those down. And there we go, guys. Hopefully that'll be enough. So we have plenty of mushrooms in the area. I don't think anyone can argue that we don't have enough mushrooms right now. I think we have plenty. I hope so anyway. Otherwise, I'm not sure how many mushrooms we need to add here to make sure that 6 months pass without a hitch. So we have a ton of mushrooms in the area. We have a ton of little agoutis as well, which is a little bit more concerning. We have one group of ocelots hunting away at them, which this is where we're going to have to experiment and see if that's enough to take care of all of these agoutis, because they are also going to reproduce in 3 weeks. Oh, geez, in 3 weeks, guys. So by the time we come back here, 1 week for this one. Oh my gosh. By the time we come back here, assuming that everything hasn't died off again, we are going to be seeing tiny, tiny agoutis running around this place everywhere, it looks like. Absolutely everywhere. This one has 3 weeks left, of course, and actually, we might be able to see this group drop in before we even end out the video, because I think the week is almost up. So let's see if we can see these tiny little agouti here next to, unfortunately, one very dead agouti. Hopefully there's some little ants in here that can take care of those, right? I think so. Did we place a group of ants over here? Oh my goodness. Okay, there they are. There they are. And there's our Tyto coins too. And that means that the tiny agoutis should be dropping in. There they are, guys. Oh my gosh. Tiny baby agoutis. I really like how all of the reproduction cycles have been reduced, because it gives us a chance to see these tiny babies a lot more often than we did before. Though, oh dear, 11 juveniles, 12 juveniles, 13 juveniles, guys. Please don't become the next deer mice. That's not going to help me. I'm starting to think, after seeing that we might want to place another group of ocelots in the area. So I am going to go way over here where supposedly our ocelots can't actually reach. And I'm going to place another group of them down. Previously, we didn't have too much trouble with them eating away all of the prey items in the area. So I'm just going to cross my fingers here. Let's see, is that enough for them to reach? Yeah, that would be enough for them to reach this side. Why don't we put them right on the mountain, though? This little hill. It's not quite a mountain. It's just a little mound of dirt. We'll place them up here so they can kind of overlook the entire territory and take their pick of all of the little tiny creatures skittering through the ferns. And I think that'll be good. I think that's probably a better way to play this than just hoping that all of these Agoutis don't go out of control. Because that would also not help the detritus situation. If all of the Agoutis reproduced at the same time and then started eating all of those mushrooms, you know, that may have been what happened to our biome. We'll never know for sure because, of course, it all passed while we were gone, but that may have been part of the issue. So we're going to hope that these little ocelots can take care of all of these Agoutis this time, that they'll be able to make sure that they don't go out of control and eat every last mushroom in the entire biome. And hopefully when we return in 6 months' time, in the 6 months that are going to pass, we will find that all of these animals are still alive. We can cross our fingers anyway. So thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you all next time. Bye!